Matter of fact, I think everybody should just introduce themselves, and we'll start from Nebu. No matter of fact, we'll go how the smack circle goes. We'll go counterclockwise. So, Carl, you can go first, and I'll go then Nebu. We'll do it like that.
True peace, true peace. This is New Karu Nupu. New Karu Nupu. I stand as the assembler of Sound Right Reason, bringing and assembling encoded messages from Nupu in translation and interpretation amongst us all, just building on with connecting with nine minds and same alike minded beings on Jipu, and working our way around the SMAT, taking us back home through bloodline lineage. But first we have to clear the cobwebs and the fragmentations. So that's what I'm here to do. Peace.
All right, true peace to Kins and friends, of course. Talkino Nupu, and I represent the bladder of the Ethiopian race, which is in the zodiac is Capricorn, earth signs, and we just trying to reassemble like the GoBots and the Transformers and G-Force and Justice League, Fantastic Four Plus. There's more people gonna join in as this thing spread, and we're just here to make some things plain, because the time has definitely called for us to come here to bring forth the information and make it more plainer and move forward. So that's about all I wanted to say. True peace.
All right. True peace, everyone out there, kins and friends and everything in between. I want to say that it is a pleasure that we're able to put something together, for those that are seeking the truth about everything in reality and also everything in our existence. My name is Unu Nupu, and I'm a representation of Noon Science in the positive. What that means is that I do my best in making sure that I promulgate and I push Noon as much as I can in my daily life, as well as on the internet, as we're about to see in the next couple of weeks. It is very important at this particular junction, at this point in time, that we assemble, like Tar was just speaking about. It's very important that we assemble the body of a and what we mean by body, I'm speaking metaphysically, the body of what you would call Nupu in the mind, because at this particular point in time there isn't any physical bodies of Nupu, but collectively and using the consciousness of Noon, we can build that body again using all the various resources, the zodiac, and all the energies in the universe to create and build all those things together. So I'm a Nubunu Nupu again, and I'm very thankful to be on the platform and to share this information with the rest of the world and amongst our kins. So true peace.
True peace. I am Nebu Reunu Nupu, and I also represent the bladder, but I'm much more of a helper as far as getting rid of the waste by sharing new science, promoting, promulgating, and so forth. Basically, I am also grateful to be on the platform, and I do my best to make sure the information get out. That's what I would like to say. And once again, I'm Mibu Re Uno Nupu, true peace, kins and friends.
All right, so basically the name of this particular class and breakdown is the Bible Interpretation of Book 1, and we're gonna pretty much ride this out for about 2 hours. That's gonna pretty much how we're gonna do it. So we're gonna go through the pages and explain and talk about it as need be. Who wanted the let me see. Who wanted to be the one to pull that out? You got that on you, Karu?
Most definitely. Let me go through a couple of files here and get that up.
I got all the books in one, but it's all good.
Let's see. All right, give me a few. Let me pull that out.
Okay, here we go.
I'll pull
Okay,
it
I got mine too, so
Okay.
just to have it.
Just clearing out some stuff off my screen for a second.
So we can share this stuff to the restream, right?
Yeah, you just have to, like, if you look at the bottom of it, it'll say share screen. It's an arrow and a TV at the bottom.
Right.
So all you gotta do is click that if you're trying to share it.
Okay. Double camera. Settings. Neat. Okay.
All right, so we got all right, so True Peace to everybody in the chat. True Peace JTV, True Peace Branches, True Peace, I cut Newt in there, True Peace Marshall, and so yeah, so what we're gonna definitely do is start this reading, but we're gonna discuss and show the relevancy of the writings of Amanubi Re'akatar, which is Afro Unu, which is the name he went by in the 60s before he changed it to Afro Unu in 1973 when he put out Are You Searching for Knowledge? Then Read Me. So of course there's going to be some discrepancies from other people who claim that Dr. York produced these writings, which is an absolute falsity.
Where this information is coming from, how I put it together, right? Because I just put it together based on all of the data that the master teacher has been giving us over the course since the 60s. Since the 60s. And then, you know what? I think that's a good place to start with some of the first books that the master teacher put out, right? Back in 1967, 1968. I've talked about this many times before here. The Bible Interpretations and Explanations, Book 1 and Book 2. Book 1 came out in 1967. Book 2 came out in 1968. Of course, you have some people that try to claim Dr. York didn't write those books, and that, you know, that's ridiculous. That just goes to show you how much people don't know our doctrine, because this information in the 60s was coded through our doctrine throughout the years, and I can show that. It's easy to show it. In fact, in 1993, we put out the book Breaking the Spell on the blacks. It was just an update of this information in the 60s. You know, the series of books called the Right Knowledge Scrolls were just an update. And those started coming out in 1993, 94, 95. And then he updated it again in 2001 with another series of books called the Right Knowledge Scrolls, which was a revision of that. And then anyone who studies the current books we have, the actual facts are updating this same information. If you look at the pod to that called Black Magic.
And we already destroyed that lie, but we have to continuously say that since some of Dr. York's followers are still present on YouTube and in Clubhouse and other places, and they've been still spreading the same lie for years now, ever since we confronted them about this many years ago. So we will keep it respectful, but we will tell you the truth and the facts. And we're gonna, again, it's right versus wrong right now, being 63 years in the sun cycle. And that's what it's about. Noon Science is here to straighten out everything and correct all misinformation. All right, so you ready, Karu?
I'm ready.
So what we'll do, as we break everything up, you can read like the first, like number one, and if anybody ain't got nothing to say, then we'll just move on.
But there is a spell upon the Ethiopian, the woolly-haired people, the world over, and is a spell of spiritual ignorance and racial indifference cast upon the Ethiopian by Leviathan from the Caucasian and his Bible, and this is why no one has been able to really unite the Ethiopian in any considerable numbers, and is also why the people of African descent have not been able to make real progress toward freedom and equality. With the help of the Caucasian, Leviathan, the god of the Caucasians, hypnotized the Ethiopian with its magical powers and sealed the hypnosis with its spiritual ignorance and racial indifference. And the only way the spell can be broken and the Ethiopian be free again, and free indeed, is that the spiritual ignorance be destroyed by spiritual knowledge and understanding, and the racial indifference be destroyed by racial knowledge and understanding. That's the sum of it. That's the sum of it. That's like everything he's been working towards, and he puts it right there, and everything else starts to unravel. Goes into 2, into 3, and whew.
Anybody want to make a comment on that? Before we move forward.
I think that paragraph, especially the first one, needs to be discussed in entirety. That's like a whole episode within itself. So even the first quote in the sentence means that we are under a spell, and I don't think a lot of people understand what that spell is, or who that spell is coming from, even though it's plainly said in the paragraph. So we have to, in my opinion, we have to explain to the people what a spell is and what does a spell look like. So you got various spells, whether it be a poverty spell, whether it be a sexual spell, whether it be a of course, a spell of racial indifference, like the paragraph says. So one of the main spells that we are currently under, which is the poverty spell, is a spell that was bestowed upon us when we were forced into what you would call so-called slavery, right? When the Caucasian took us from Africa about 400 or 500 years ago, but there's also a spell within that spell as well, because not all of us came from Africa. We had Africans that resided right here on American soil, that all they had to do was with the power of their pen, which is also another spell, was able to turn other Ethiopians, which just happens to be folks who possess woolly hair. So when we use the word Ethiopian, not to drift off topic, we are talking about those that possess woolly hair. We are not talking about the country in Africa, though we know that country is named after us, and the spelling of Ethiopian was a little bit different. They used to spell it Aethiopin, or
Ethiopia.
Right, Ethiopia or Ethiopian. And the whole of Africa was called Ethiopia, and the sea and the surrounding waters were called the Ethiopian Sea. Right? So just to circle back now, not every woolly-haired African came from Africa as far as the slave trade is concerned, but every Ethiopian did come from Africa by origin. All right, so I just want to clarify that, because you're gonna have some people that are gonna say, well, Anoop said that no. What I'm saying is that by origin, we do come from Africa. We did a whole spill on this a little while back. We'll revisit it. But as far as slavery is concerned, many of us was already here. So the spell and the curse that we need to break is a multifaceted, multi-layered, and we'll be talking about those spells throughout the duration of this discussion. But that's the first thing that we need to know, is that we are under a spell, and that spell is not so easily seen, right? A spell is not something that you see. It's something that affects your life in a negative manner, right? So anything that affects your life in a negative manner could possibly be a spell. You understand what I'm saying? So poverty, like I told you before, malnutrition, or the food that they give us is also a spell as well, because sometimes they may say, hey, this is a chicken sandwich, but when you look at the ingredients, you got about 38 other things in there except for chicken.
Yeah, a whole bunch of chemicals.
That's a spell, because it's tricking your mind into thinking and tasting as if it's chicken, and it's not really chicken.
Breakdown on a Chick-fil-A sandwich, just chicken sandwich, 55. In majority of them are unpronounceable chemicals, and you start to go, well, hold on, I thought Chick-fil-A was like one of the healthy ones. The reality is all the same things hold true in that setting. It's marketed as a more healthy place, and obviously the service level there is extraordinarily high, but you actually scrutinize those foods, you go, whoa, hold on, maybe I shouldn't be eating Chick-fil-A as often. And it's not just Chick-fil-A. Okay.
I might be curious while I eat my Chick-fil-A sandwich, but that's about it. It's not going to intimidate me on not going there anymore, unfortunately.
So these are just a couple of the spells that the Ethiopian is under. We're under a food spell. We're under a spiritual spell. We're under a poverty spell. We probably one of the only races on the planet that deals with every single spell that you could think of. We dealing with a disease spell as well. Many of us are plagued by many different illnesses, right? And I don't think maybe there's a couple people on the planet that die from natural causes, even though they say natural causes. But most people in this day and time die from some sort of illness. You know, so that's also a spell as well.
Yep.
So anybody want to chime in, you know, as far as the spell is concerned? I just want to hone in on that so people can understand the various types of spells that we are dealing with.
You also have financial spells. You have people that's don't know where they're gonna get their next meal from because they keep raising the prices of the food. And now you have Trump doubling back after he done sent all the migrants, deported them out of the country because he was thinking that they was gonna be able to get the African Americans to work on the fields, but that didn't work in their favor.
Yeah. Indeed.
They're trying every little tactic where they're like little mice running.
Because it's going to go deeper, because I don't want to jump ahead of what it's going to get down to. So now we basically know that is the summary basically is that there's a spell cast upon the Ethiopian, the world over. We know that it's from Leviathan, and it's also the Caucasian in his Bible. And that's what's keeping us from coming together religiously, but it feeds and breaks off into other areas. But it gives you a starting point that we can relate to, because remember, this information came out in the 60s, and most of our people have never heard anything other than the white man is the devil, the white man is the problem, stuff like that. The spiritual aspect was never really exposed in this manner. So you got to remember, we got generations of mental and spiritual as well as biological problems being surrounded on this moon base called America. And then you had teachers that came in, and a lot of our teachers, even though they meant well, a lot of them still were using religion or were religious themselves in one form or another, and those things still didn't address our spiritual jailers. And so it took from the time of Marcus Garvey all the way down to when Alfred actually wrote down what the problem is, because now this particular verse, this particular paragraph is exposing something that was not really dealt with on the front line. Because the word Leviathan is in the Bible a few times, but a lot of people didn't know what that really was. All right, so we got that down, and it caused us to have racial indifference, which is what we see now. That's why black people cannot seem to enjoy each other's company without what they call, we always hating on one another. But it's a reason for that, because now it's saying Leviathan is the cause, and we can't be free until we understand what Leviathan is. We know what the Bible is on the forefront, but we don't really understand what the Bible is. So, all right, so we can go to the second one. Carl, we'll go ahead and read number 2.
It is futile trying to hypnotize people without using the magic formula that will reverse the hypnotic spell, which is keeping them in captivity. Part of the magic formula to reverse or destroy the evil hypnotic spell Leviathan is this booklet. It is futile trying to unite so-called Negroes physically without first uniting them mentally. If we can achieve mental unity, we are automatically united physically. because a person talks and acts the way that he or she, hence the results of ignorant thought are ignorant words and ignorant works. If the minds of those of a kind are enslaved, that kind is enslaved no matter where they may be. If the minds of those of a kind are free, the physical persons are free or will soon be free, because the mind is the control and thereby determines the course of that person or persons will take.
You want to add something on that to anybody?
Yeah. So it's important to know that when he talks about a formula, that means there's a process that must take place before we jump out there and think that we can automatically just say the words that or just just randomly go out there and say, well, I've broken the spell. No, the spell is a intricate, multifaceted spell that most of us don't even know we are under, right? So in order to break the spell, there has to be a specific formula, and I think that's the most important part of that paragraph. Only maybe next to the other part of it, which is the mind, right? So the formula has to be implemented into the mind in order for the spell to be broken, so that the Ethiopian can be finally free. But another part of that is that a lot of times people think that physical unity means mental unity, but you could have 50 million Negroes come together, right? And I mean, I guess to a certain extent, physical unity is mental unity, because we could see that some Negroes may come together for a negative purpose, right? And that in itself is a form of mental unity as well. So, and it's a negative mental unity. So I see a lot of people, sometimes they come together in negative mental unity. We see that when you see a lot of these women and men watch, some of these housewives show, some of us men, we come together to watch the football and the basketball. I'm guilty of it, because it doesn't do anything positive for my mind. They're getting paid, I'm not. You understand what I'm saying? I could be using that time to do something constructive with my time to help liberate my race. So
working on that too.
We all are. But that goes to show you that I'm being transparent. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just being transparent with you that we are all under the spell. Even the ones that are talking on this platform right now, including myself, in some way or form, we are still trying to break the spell fully. But we cannot break the spell fully if we are still living under another race's rule, and we have to follow their rules as well, right? So there's a specific formula, right, that these books are going to give us that's going to allow us to break that spell. So you cannot break the spell without the formula. That's what I want people to understand. You cannot break the spell without the formula, because that is the most important part of this entire paragraph. We need to keep that in our minds, that there's a formula that we need to follow in order to break the spell. And then we can achieve mental unity, and then from mental unity, then we could achieve spiritual unity. After spiritual unity, then we could achieve physical unity. So that's basically what I want to hone in on that particular paragraph, is that there is a formula, and we must implement the formula. You cannot break the spell without the formula.
Right.
All right, well, let me add this up here. I'm gonna show this first.
Do I have to stop?
Yeah, just hold on for you. Yeah, just before we move forward, I'm gonna just share my screen so we can look at this word real quick. Let me know when y'all can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, so the Bible interpretation is very, very specific, and Afro used the word magic. So here, the etymology says the art of influencing or predicting events and producing marvels, hidden natural forces, also supernatural art, especially the art of controlling the actions of what? Spiritual or superhuman beings. Nobody on the planet been doing that. As far as the black people concerned, right? Because the book is written for Ethiopian people. So we can look at all the leaders we ever had and based off of what the Bible interpretation said, have you seen that?
No.
No one has been doing that. And it says magical, from Latin magis. Look, sorcery, magic from Greek magike, presumably with techne, art. Feminine of magikos, magical. This is from magos, right? One of the members of the learned priestly classes. And remember that magos is another way to say magician. When you talk about the wise man that allegedly came to see Jesus, that's another conversation. But you can see that. But it used the word priestly class, right? Now keep that there. All right, so we're gonna keep that there. Do a good example. Yeah, pull up the nature books.
Okay.
And type in the word magic.
Magic. Okay.
Book 1.
This book 1.
And then share it. Just pick one of the verses and share it.
All right, give me a sec.
All right, so remember now, some of the definitions is using hidden natural forces, supernatural art, right? But then it's saying art as in the magic arts, because magic is an art, but there's different types of art form of magic. All right, so we're going to be specific because this is a book that was written by Ethiopian Nunibu. So we have to clarify what type of magic was the author saying, so we don't get it mixed up with Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or some other occult voodoo or Vodun type of artistry, which is there's no disrespect to none of that. But those things fall under black magic, and those type of magic causes people to have to harm persons and animals and do other things. So we need to be very clear on magic. Let me know when you're ready. Because these books been around for a few decades, and because of the negative influence of Dwight York, specifically the followers and worshippers of York, is one of the main reasons why these books have to be read slow, verse for verse, because of the spiritual niggardry that's been spun by Leviathan. Because we're gonna go down through there with Leviathan specifically, because they don't know what Leviathan really is. Because the negative forces. All right, I see you ready to share it. I got you. All right, just type the word magic in and see what come up in the search bar. I don't know how you was able to get yours to come up.
You know, that's the IT tech right there.
Yeah, that's the Nunibu tech right there. All right, so I can't see it. What does it say?
All right. Let me.
Yeah, make it bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Now remove that. All right, let's go. It says, let me read this. It says, in nature, universe, science, like the scientific information, what? In this book, the word supernatural does not mean something or someone with what? Power or magic. Above and beyond the natural or nature.
Nature, yeah.
What is he telling you? Now, we just read in magic, it says, hidden forces, supernatural art, especially the art of controlling the actions of spiritual or superhuman beings. Afro was telling you that same definition is now being read in the what nature books, because he said it does not mean something or someone with power or magic above or beyond the natural or nature. So that means Afro had powers. That's what he's telling you. If you read it slow and you connect the words and follow them, and then you revert back to the nature books, he's telling you without telling you he has what? Supernatural powers. But he went about it in a different way. Then he says, because there's no, I can't see that. There's no person or thing, since nature is all person, all place, and all things, the past, present, and future, but supernatural and noon, like the philosophy in this volume, means what? Higher or highest power or magic of the natural or of nature. Not something or someone above and beyond the natural and nature. Another word with power and special meaning that goes into God. But he's telling you right there that not only is he supernatural and he has power to control spirit beings.
Right.
And energy. And this book is a result of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So we know that if you compare that little bit what we said, and we got to use Dr. York